An important element of the design of a home office is to make sure you have enough lighting and the right type of lighting. Hi everyone, it's Carol from Discover Interior Design, and I'm so glad you're here. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about lighting for your home office so that you can create a comfortable as well as productive space to work. So let's take a look at the different types of lighting you may need for your office. So one thing to think about before we even talk about lighting is just to think about where you're going to be working and where you're going to place a desk or where your work surface or work area is going to be. And so if you have any questions about that or need some design ideas about that, check out my playlist on home office design, and I will leave the link to that playlist in this video's description and at the end of this video. So what are some things to keep in mind for lighting so that your home office really is a comfortable place to work as well as a really productive place to get all your work done? So there are two main types of lighting that you'll want to think about and use in your office so that you really do create a space where you want to be and do all of your work. So one of the first types of lighting that you'll want to check in your office is just to make sure you have enough overall lighting, which is just kind of general lighting for the room, that there's enough light in the room to see everything and it looks and feels comfortable. And this may be enough for you for your workspace. And overall lighting can be available in different types of forms. We can think of artificial lighting in a room that provides overall lighting, and that could be everything from a ceiling light fixture. Maybe you have a ceiling surface mounted light fixture in the center of the room, or maybe you have recessed cans or even track lighting, or maybe you have a floor lamp or even a desk lamp. So depending on the type of work that you do at home, overall lighting may be just enough. Maybe you do most of your work online, and so maybe you're a tutor or a bookkeeper or even a remote worker. And so you just need some nice overall lighting in the room where you can take care of your work. And there's a couple things you want to pay attention to when you're checking on the overall lighting for your home office. One of them is checking to see if you have too much light. And so that's where you want to have some adjustability. So for artificial lighting, it's ideal to have a dimmer switch on a wall so that you can adjust how much light is in the room. The other thing to think about is making sure that you have a way to filter out natural light. So making sure your window coverings are kind of flexible so that you can filter out some of that light. And the other thing to pay attention to is glare. So glare can be from the light fixture itself. Maybe you have a light fixture that just has a bare bulb on it, and that provides a lot of glare. Or how about you get some glare on your computer screen or on your work surface? And that is an obstacle to having a productive work environment. So what you need to do is to kind of make some adjustments, maybe adjust where you work or how you place your computer screen so that you don't get any glare. Or maybe it's thinking about having a diffuser, which is just a panel that is put on light fixtures to help soften the light and to help spread it out a little bit more so it's not providing so much glare. And the other thing to pay attention to is if you don't have enough lighting. So that's where those dimmable light switches are super handy so that you can really adjust how much light you need, and that will probably change throughout the day. And it's also having window coverings that you can adjust as well. Other adjustments you can make, you can certainly add more lighting, maybe adding a floor lamp or even a desk lamp will help to add more overall lighting to your space. And you may want to check on the light bulbs that are in your light fixtures and making sure that you can adjust them to more brightness if you need it. But what happens if the overall lighting in your room is still not enough? to help you be productive and to be able to carry out the tasks that you need? Well, that's where you may need to add a task light. And task lighting is just a type of lighting that is added on to overall lighting so that you can see details better. It's a more focused type of lighting instead of something that's a little bit more spread out like overall lighting. So examples of task lighting could be maybe a desktop light, or even track lighting, or a floor lamp possibly, or even clip-on lights, or even a floor lamp that's a ring light, or even a camera light. It just really depends on the type of work that you do and what you need more light for. So examples of types of work where you may need more focused types of light include maybe you do online work where maybe you are a bookkeeper, but maybe sometimes you have to print out the financial sheets and you really need some focus lighting to help to see all of those details. Or maybe you are an artist and so you need to make sure you have plenty of light on your artwork. Or maybe you're a vlogger, so that would mean that you need more focus light to film yourself. And a couple things to keep in mind with task lighting is that you want to think about how close that light is to the task at hand, what you need to be looking at. So the farther away, the more light kind of spreads out, but the more close it is to that piece of work or task that you are doing, the more focused it's going to be. And lots of times that lampshade, the shape and the size of that lampshade will really focus and determine how much that light is spread out. So we can think of a clip-on light on a music stand as a task light, and it's very focused and it just kind of spreads out just enough right over the music, and it's placed right over the music. If it was placed any farther away, it would be too spread out and at the same time not strong enough to be able to read the music very well. And then there are two other things to kind of look out for when you are working with task lighting. One of them is shadows. One thing to think about is if you are going to put a desk lamp, a task lamp on your work surface, try out which side works better for you that creates less shadow. Sometimes that has to do with if you're left-handed or right-handed. I know for me, I'm right-handed, and so I would prefer to have my light source, my desk lamp on my desk, shining on the left side, because otherwise I would create more shadows if it was on the right side. And then even if you are working with lighting that is from the ceiling and that is providing enough task lighting, and a good example of that could be track lighting, where it's kind of this focus light and you can almost spotlight it on a certain area. But one thing you want to keep in mind are shadows, so you don't want to get in the way of that light, or you may have to pivot and adjust the location, say, of your easel if you're painting a picture on an easel, so that you don't cast any shadows. So the light is directed as much as possible on your painting surface. And then ideally, it's nice to have adjustability, to have dimmer switches on different types of task lights so you can adjust how bright that light is. And just like working with overall lighting in our room, you may want to think about changing the location of where your desk is, for instance, or the placement of a task lamp, just to make sure that it works really well for you. So please let me know if you have any questions about lighting for a home office. And if you do have a home office, I'd love to hear from you what type of work you do and what type of lighting you have in your home office. So please share your questions and your design ideas in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.